Imagine owning a home, going there after a couple of days, and discovering squatters in your residence, and them calling the police and you being the one who's arrested. Check out this local news clip.
County man says that squatters broke into his home in February and they're still there. Backlogs with the courts and the marshal's office have left him legally unable to enter his own place. As Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray reports, there's finally an eviction order, but the homeowner is still waiting.
Tim Arcos says just days after his tenant moved out of his Eastlake rental home, he showed up to find someone had broken in. He says as soon as he pulled into the driveway, a gun was pointed at him.
I just jumped the fence and ran. I didn't know what else to do.
That was all the way back in February. 6 months later, the alleged squatters are still living in Arcos' DeKalb County home.
I didn't walk in on a family eating dinner. I walked in on weapons, a prostitute, a bunch of dogs in the back, my fence broken down.
But it was Arco police took into custody that day back in February after he called 911.
And they told the police that I was a home invader and that it was their home. And so I ended up being arrested and detained.
Since then, Arco has been fighting to evict the squatters in court. After months of court delays, the eviction order is finally signed, but now he's waiting on the marshals. John Ernst is Arco's attorney.
No one likes, being in the court system, but it becomes even worse when it seems broken down.
Back in May, we were there as a squatter at another DeKalb County home was evicted and arrested. And that case after a Channel 2 Action News story, the DeKalb sheriff bypassed the courts and served an intruder affidavit after Army Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia DeRay's home was taken over by squatters.
I felt violated.
How is that a lie?
That's a lie.
Are you not a squatter? You're the tenant? Do you have a lease?
Yes, I do. That's a lie.
Can you show me the lease?
I don't have to show you that.
One of the alleged squatters at Arco's home yelled at us while we were in front of the home shooting video that he is no squatter. You didn't break into this home?
Oh, no, sir.
Did somebody break into this house?
No, nobody broke in this house.
I feel like it's very heavily weighted towards these were trespassers and criminals, not people that got duped.
That was Justin Gray reporting. Arco was never charged with a crime once he showed police that it was his property, but it's now been 6 months waiting on the courts, and Arco has been told by marshals that he should be able to evict in the beginning of September.
How are the squatters still in the house? This is happening in a number of states, even in Florida, where squatters, people that are illegally in a house, are given rights and preferential treatment to the homeowner, to the point where they call and have the homeowner arrested for breaking in. And according to the article, it was a couple of days after a tenant left that this occurred. This is Soviet-style, communist-style attack on personal property rights and the fact that somebody could so easily take your home, your castle over. I personally think that if you find somebody engaged in squatting in your home, you should give them about 1 minute to vacate the premises and get off the property before you're allowed to unload a shotgun into them, which is why I'm in my orange and white striped prison jumpsuit today. I don't think that there's any excuse for breaking into somebody's home and having the right to stay there other than the Marxists who are attempting to dissolve in their putrid ideological acid the personal property rights of individuals, the same way that they essentially make it legal to shoplift by failing to enforce the law or changing the law where it's almost no amount of shoplifting will earn you a one-way ticket to prison. This is a failing of American society. And just as an example, in terms of the difference in rules for thee but not for me, if you were in the criminal class in the former Soviet Union, and I know this from reading the Gulag Archipelago, and you were caught with a weapon that could be used against somebody, that was considered part of your trade. You were a criminal, you didn't know better. But if they believed that you were a counter-revolutionary of a Politico, and you were caught with a weapon, you were treated 100 times as harshly and deemed an enemy of the state. So for a normal citizen to behave in the manner that the squatters have by attempting to remove them from the premises, you can go to jail, and this homeowner is still without access to his home, but is still forced to pay the property taxes and the mortgage in what is complete unfairness. And I can only tell you that this must change, that as a country, as various states, we must start employing the law and protecting property owners against these thugs and thieves who wish to steal the hard work of others and usurp it for themselves. I know that this is something as old as time, but believe me when I tell you that this does not happen in Saudi Arabia, because if you get caught stealing, shoplifting, they'll cut off your hand. Here in America today, you're rewarded. And that's why we must vote the Democrats who are employing these strategies in subverting our nation. We must vote them out of office entirely. So make sure to share videos and videos like this with your friends so that they become aware of the toxicity and the acid that the Democrats are putting into our system of governance and dissolving the bonds which unite us, the property rights that ensure that our hard work is ours and not there for the taking if we don't show up at our house for a couple of days, and that we have to be homeless for months at a time while we will wait for the police to come and evict. Thank God they're evicting. If it was San Francisco, there's no way they'd throw you in jail for merely complaining. Democrat cities, right?